Welcome back to the OPL, where we are one game into the Direwolves Chiefs set, and the Direwolves take game number 1. So we really do have a struggling Chiefs in our hand, I think it's very fair to say. However, guys, just want to let you know that we are running a social media contest right now. We want to know how you're supporting your favorite teams during Super Week. Use that hashtag IamOPL. Send us a photo or something, a picture, a haiku, I think I said last time, maybe a short video. I mean, Twitter supports those now. You know, just let us know how you... GIFs. Zach he would be so proud. Somewhere Rusty is like grinning his stupid head off because he loves a good GIF. But, you know, just let us know and you have a chance to win a mystery skin. However, guys, want to get into this because, Raz, I think that you said it best during the break. That's not even a pick ban thing. The Chiefs just got beat.
Yep. Pretty much like even if you remove like a Karma, right? Karma was really like pretty much disturbing for that team fight. Like in that composition, they really couldn't chase him. They got chased down, but even if you do that, it comes down to the fact that I think Direwolves is just playing too cleanly. They're literally playing the map better than the Chiefs, which is something you don't hear quite often.
And you know, the scary thing is you get rid of Karma, there's a Bard like sitting there. Regret, fantastic Bard play. You know, get rid of Twisted Fate. They run the Rise with the teleport, who gets like... Twisted Fate didn't do anything until 28 minutes into that game. Rise at 28 minutes, I'll probably trade him for the Twisted Fate anyway. Like, Direwolves just completely out-macroed the Chiefs, and this is something that we don't get to talk about often, Frost.
Yeah, it's incredibly rare to see. Typically, the Chiefs have set the standard for where macro and map play are being done. That said, if I was going to adjust anything on the Chiefs draft, I would actually like to see more responsibility given to Swiffer on like a carry role. So you have this idea that picking the Victor into the Twisted Fate, you're going to deal with this in different options. You're either going to have kill threat on him, or you're going to wave clear and keep him shoved in so he can't use his Destiny. Again, the fact that Twisted Fate really only used his Destiny in that one big core play, yeah, it counted, but the reason why he wasn't running around the map earlier is because he was constantly pressured forward by these big massive waves. And I think that Swiffer has more tools than just the Victor and would bring a lot more kill threat and another pressure point on the map rather than a control mage.
And, you know, I do want to take a look at the Chiefs because, you know, we've spoken up pretty highly of the Direwolves, but is Swiffer becoming the last bastion of hope? I mean, you know, we're talking about the 5-man unit. Slowly, I feel like Radier and Ejim have started to drop off a little bit. Swiper in the last couple of weeks has been exposed by Tallies and Chippies, at least in my opinion. You know, Swiffer spooks. Is it the rest of the team slumping? Is it communication? Like, what do we think of the Chiefs right now? Because they are struggling.
Yeah, it's hard to say, right? I want to basically... I want another... I think it is. I think if you give them, like, proper matchups, then they can run it through.
I think it's so clear that Spooks and Swiffer right now are the core of the team. Again, like the level 1 was exchange on Spooks making great jungle pathing. Swiffer has always been like the constant. He's still the best performing player in the league right now. Radier is definitely slumping. He put himself back on the Ezreal. He had good 1v1. Like his mechanics are still strong, but you could go back to like scenarios where they're trying to force a mid lane play when Ejim made that rotation as Braum and they just kind of fumble it around and they're not able to execute. Swiffer actually gets picked off by a Gragas ult. Like if that's an Ashe or if that's a Jen or if that's a utility AD carry, that would be the classic Chiefs composition. Radier just standing in the fog of war and popping an arrow.
But yeah, I like this theory because you said, you know, it's actually not the Chiefs. It's like if they're put in winning situations. So are we saying that it is pick ban? Are we saying that it is things happening off the Rift? You know, maybe around management, coaching stuff and stuff like that that are impacting what's happening in these games?
Yeah, we'll see though. I think because we've only really seen a couple, maybe just one. Especially
we've got 4 now. They lost against Savart. They dropped 2 versus Legacy and now they've lost versus Direwolves.
Ex-Chiefs coach next to me. I think the slumping member right now is partly Coach Jish. I think some of the drafts I've actually found, shots fired, Jish, eye contact. I think some of the drafts are a little bit questionable. I think, again, like picking Victor into Gragas, not putting Swiffer on a hyper carry, not putting Radier on utility. Yeah, he didn't have the greatest gen performance last time, but I think that the Chiefs really are dependent on executing very specific comps right now, since individually members aren't stepping up to the performance that we expect.
All right, I am getting the hurry up, guys, so we are going to have to get you back onto Summoner's Rift. You can see it's getting a little bit tense here, and I'm sure it is for the players as well. Let's get into game number 2 between the Direwolves and the Chiefs.
Eye contact. Thank you very much, Spawn. And I just had to dodge that bullet that Froskerin had thrown around this room. My goodness. Shots fired, and we'll see whether the Chiefs are going to look a little bit better coming out of the draft in game number 2.
It's not unjustified either, to be fair. I don't like having Swiffer personally on that Victor, knowing that it was into the Twisted Fate in particular. Yes, you can blow him up. Yes, you can run Cleanse and control the lane.
Yeah.
But it's pretty obvious that as the Direwolves, if I was to focus a lane at all in League of Legends against the Chiefs, it would be Swiffer's lane. And so that Victor then runs the risk of dying a lot. I would actually put him on something that can run teleport, maybe match the split push that Twisted Fate would have provided, and then maybe even be an assassin to just outright take him out.
Oh, we'll see exactly what they do to adapt to this one because, of course, Direwolves do move to the red side. They have that counter pick opportunity. Remember, they picked Twisted Fate from the blue side as well. Gave Chiefs the opportunity to pick into it and then found the victory. But Chiefs are going to ban away the Jacks this time. Azir and Elise also going to go as LeBlanc and Shen once again taken away by the Direwolves. I believe they're waiting on a Vladimir. We'll see whether they do take that one off.
Yeah, and all things considered from that first game, I think the determining factor was more so the Jacks in the middle lane. General, so the draft was good from the Direwolves because it gave them the Twisted Fate. It was what it was from the Chiefs. Like, Victor's still a good pick. Swiffer can still play that Victor to a super high level.
Oh yeah.
Rounded out their team composition with a lot of damage. But ultimately, they gave Direwolves their Exodia comp. The one thing that the Direwolves should never have. They gave them that.
Well, we were talking about the Jhin. It was banned away in game number 1, and Chiefs are going to snap that one up as the first pick here into the Direwolves. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw something like the Karma Sivir just straight away out of the Direwolves.
I wouldn't be surprised to see it. I think they should actually look towards perhaps the Rek'Sai to take it from Spooks. The one big adaptation that I would make is definitely that.
The Gragas looked really good out of Sybil, though.
It did, but I think Rek'Sai is just a higher priority in what it provides for objective control as well.
Yeah,
something the Direwolves show prevalence towards. The Karma with it would make a lot of sense. The Jhin, though, having been locked in now from the Chiefs, Jhin is just an absurdly strong champion at the moment. The rule of thumb, something that we've actually noted, is that if you don't kill the team that has a Jhin in it, the Jhin team kills you 100% without fail because his chase down is ridiculous. He will always get in range of you with the W or the ultimate to lock you down. You can engage for your team. It just provides so much.
Well, Direwolves have locked down the pseudo counter to the Jhin. Can knock him out of that curtain call with the pillar from Chippies, but will not be often around Raider, especially in the early stages. And there's the Ezreal for Raze. Definitely one of his key champions. You think back to Raze earlier on.
For what it's worth, Bard's the counter to Jhin.
That is another
good
point.
Support, and if we're looking at mid lane, I'd say even the Twisted Fate can get into the back line where he's standing still. The ultimate counter is flanking, but against the competitive team that is the Chiefs with high level of vision control, it should never happen.
Well, Karma is going to get locked in. Direwolves do have the opportunity to put Regret on the Bard, like you were talking about. Definitely high priority here against the Jhin as Spooks takes away the Rek'Sai one more time. Direwolves probably not too worried. Let's see what they decide to take away next.
I'd actually just be okay with the Bard in general now we talk about it, though.
Yeah.
You would expect the support to be picked up in this rotation with jungle as well, knowing it's the Rek'Sai. Perhaps they default back to the Gragas again. That would be an expectation. We know that Sybil has a couple of champions up his sleeves, though.
Yep. I believe you were spectating Sybil playing Zach
actually,
today.
I was watching him play it.
But we do know that he just loves playing the champion just in general. And Fantix will see what he decides to pick up here, potentially for Regret, or whether he decides to lock away his own champion. As, of course, we're waiting for both solo lanes out of the Chiefs in our next round. Fantix probably wanting some sort of counter pick. Alistar for Regret. Brom. See what they do decide to lock in. 1 second to go, and it will be Brom. So Ezreal Brom towards bottom side of the map. And that's the Zac. So Sybil back to his blob of goo.
And what better a champion to actually cover 3,000 units of distance to get into a Jhin ultimate.
That is very true.
Than a Zac, yeah. So decent clearing champion, of course, has unique gank pathing, similar to a Rek'Sai and Shaco, which is what makes him quite potent.
Yeah.
The Gragas was super useful, but I think Zac can fill a similar vein of thought there, in that you can get into that middle lane from the side butt brushes. Brushes.
All right. Get into them side bushes. Yeah, they're
Level
rusty.
4. Fantastic English.
Very English, in fact.
Yeah, no, the Zac's got a lot of utility.
Whoa, okay, so Swiffer is going to be playing that Karma in the mid lane as Ejim picks up the Thresh, and that's a Lowy once again for Swiper. I like this, mixing it up.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually do still rate the Alawi quite highly. It's almost like a stand in front of the Jhin composition that the Chiefs have compiled for themselves. It does indicate as well that Karma is the mid laner of choice. Well, we have Thresh in the support role. And that's pretty awesome to be playing with you.
Yeah.
Because there is very few things that can actually kill the Jhin, let alone the Alawi that's going to be healing a ridiculous amount and to have a Karma shield it.
We'll see how the Chiefs are going to be able to play this one out. Alawi into Trundle. Feels like something that would be okay for Alawi because she doesn't necessarily like to build a lot of tanky stats early on. Possibly could do okay.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, like, Alawi's good into anyone that wants to hit Alawi, opposed to you having to hit them. That's the rule of thumb, and that same thing applies to skirmishes and team fights. Chiefs, as a finished team composition, are entirely running a kite-back comp to play around these objectives, to have vision control, and to let the Direwolves engage on them with the Zac, with the Twisted Fate, even with the Braum.
Yeah.
And just to draw a line in the sand and say, if they cross this point, the Alawi ult's here.
Well, you can see Chiefs now set up. Fantix understandably locks in the Twisted Fate one more time over on that red side, does know exactly what the Chiefs are bringing to the table, and is going to take that TF once again into them. So once again, Direwolves set up for 1-3-1. May not have as much maneuverability, but with Ezreal, we'll be able to at least stay relatively safe, not to mention stand behind me an elastic slingshot there from Sybil. We'll be able to help out as far as getting them away if Chiefs decide to engage.
And the immediate adaptation from the Chiefs is noteworthy in that Karma's running the teleport. So can still wave clear effectively, one of the strengths that Karma provides, and will be able to deal with what Fantix is doing in side lanes whenever he starts to become that pest that a Twisted Fate always is.
Yeah, and I actually really like what both teams have done here because the Direwolves have identified the fact that they want to play 1-3-1. They know that that worked in game number 1, and it was very, very close to start off with, and then they just organically got themselves a lead. So don't change your style. Make sure that the Chiefs have to adapt to it. And over on the side of the Chiefs, they certainly have. This is a completely different comp apart from that Rek'Sai, who is just generally incredibly versatile anyway. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to hear from you. If you think the Chiefs can bring this one back, give us a deciding game in this best of 3. Use that hashtag CHF win. However, if you think that the Direwolves can take down the Chiefs in back-to-back games, use that hashtag DWWin. And Direwolves will actually put themselves on the top of the table after that victory.
They absolutely can if they take out the
They have
Chiefs
to.
here. 1-0 up. Now need to cement that lead and get the 2-0 here, but the Chiefs biting back with a different team composition, a different flavor, essentially, to their own style. The Direwolves ringing true to them, but with a new addition of a Zac.
Yeah, I like it a lot. As you can see, Swiffer, he's taking the Deathfire touch here as well, and the Karma wants to make sure that all of his buttons hurt as much as possible.
Summoner's Rift.
Will mean the late game damage of the Karma has been augmented a little bit. I actually quite like that adaptation, given the fact that she is often known as a champion that has a lot of mid-game damage.
Yeah, I mean, you'd still probably want to have a Thunderlords if you're looking to win lane against
30
Fantix, who,
seconds until
for the
minions
record,
spawn.
switched to Ignite. He's
Oh
going
my
to be running
goodness.
the offensive summoner. Swiffer having the teleport is out of necessity because he's against the Twisted Fate. One other thing is we're actually looking at a Dark Star Thresh.
Oh, cool! Look at him. Oh, the back animation's so awesome as well. He needs to do that not in a brush so that we can properly... no, there's no need to advertise. Okay, so Raze moving back up. We'll see whether a lane swap is going to ensue. Regret already moving up there.
Yeah, it feels like they're actually about to match this.
Minions have spawned.
Or not.
No, it looks like they're
Or
moving
they
bottom
are.
side. Oh,
Or they're not.
Oh.
They're actually walking down middle lane. Both duo lanes are doing this. The question is, who wants to find the other one? And usually a Braum and anybody wants a standard lane.
Who's
The
going to walk
Chiefs.
over Vision first?
They seem to be actively pursuing it themselves, as they're just about to meet each other instead.
They just
Oh, hello.
high five a little bit.
Looks like we're not standard, says the Chiefs.
Oh my goodness. What is happening? Ring around the rosy.
So this is not ideal for the Chiefs if they decide to go bottom. It's actually a really long period of time.
But Swipe is already...
No, but
What?
seriously,
What?
like, they are just... Oh! Go to lane.
Oh, Ejim's just showing off with
So
his
that's-
sweet skin.
3 minions missing, potentially 6 by the time Raider gets there. There's been better situations for the Chiefs at level 1 in League of Legends.
I would say so. Let's see whether they can get back up. Oh, okay, they got it. That's all right. It's all right.
It's just awkward.
It is.
It's the kind of decision that you never expect to see the Chiefs make. That's indecisiveness.
Not to mention the fact that now Raze is level 2, and if anyone's got a good level 2, that'd be Ezra.
Transcend.
All right, Jin.
Just calm down.
This is the loudest bottom lane ever. Dark Star Thresh skin is so annoying.
In goes Swiper. He's trying to avoid all of these tentacles. Oh my goodness. That W is obnoxious.
Yeah, big advantage for Slifer, of course. He has the levels. Doing a lot of damage to Trundle. It's something that just never ends. And even now, you want a last hit? It's a battle against the tentacles, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, Chippies is still able to avoid a few of them. Chomps down on some of these minions, and Spook's continuing to park nicely here. He's going to spot Sybil out.
Sybil's low.
Yeah, relatively low against this.
He does have
Scramble back.
smite, so if he takes the risk, he'll get a lot of health back with that.
Spook's unable to smite Sybil up the way, but does once again have a lot of information. But here goes
Whoa.
Fantix. The
Whoa.
gold card's there. Wildcard even clips him towards the bottom side, but Spooks is able to slink out, but has to use the flash.
Whatever that was, it happened.
Yeah.
Fantix with a really nice rotation, honestly, albeit super early. Doesn't put himself into the best position now that he's back in lane. But Fantix will be fine. He's a twisted fate.
Yeah, nice aggressive play out of Swiffer though. Gets the Mandarin Q on top of Fantix. After taking that gold card to the head. Continues to have a little bit of a lead here in this lane.
Such a cool thing.
Yeah, really cool. Sybil. Don't believe he was spotted here moving towards the top side.
He might have been looking to get in the brush before actually going for this. The Chiefs, they're caught.
Yeah, there it is. Radiant getting hit by 2 spells at once. Has to use the flash. Red buff ticking down as the hook is going to
Nice
land
hook.
onto Regret. There's a lot of minions here as Deadly Flourish flies through, but the exhaust down onto Radiant. Regret still once more. The Ignite's down. He flashes out of the way, but I think he's still dead. Arcane Shift flies through. He's going to survive. Gets the level up as well, but it wasn't needed. It's now the Chiefs answer back. That's a lot of summoner spells used on both sides. You can see Chippy's in trouble here on the bottom side as well.
Yeah. This Allow is throwing a spanner into the works of the Direwolves right now. The Chiefs look entirely different when Swiper is controlling this lane. Raider and Aegium in a 2v3 actually almost get themselves a kill also.
Yeah.
And Spooks hasn't been seen on the map, but it doesn't matter.
You can see Chippies does get the experience for that cannon creep. This is a very different story though, like you said, Rusty.
And it's still not too big of a difference between them, let's be perfectly honest. The gold is not representative of anything. The mid lane is still farming and we'll get towards that level 6 point where Fantix has the ability to move around the map. Zach, whilst he was utilizing a level 4 red buff gank, is getting closer to that level 5 mark. And then it's even easier for him to utilize. We need to start seeing Spooks on Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, at the moment, just counter jungling here towards the top side of the map. You can see the Zac taking down a Rift Scuttler here as well as Direwolves find some respite here on the top side of the map. Taking down all of these minions quite effectively. Thank you very much, Turret, says Raze. He's able to lock down that minion, and now Chippy's dealing with Swiper, who I believe just went back, got a pickaxe, and didn't use his teleport to get back to lane.
Yeah, big point of advantage, honestly.
Yeah.
The Chiefs, if they wish to use that teleport, if there's ever a fight that happens topside, it looks, never mind.
Spooks is trying to get some work done. As Swift is here as well. They know exactly where they want to be attacking as Sybil walks over a pink ward. Swiper, definitely playing a champion who doesn't care so much about whether he gets ganked or not. He's probably more than happy to kill a couple of people.
Maybe at the level 6 mark. Well, Zach has a fair chunk of early damage. But Swiper, I guess, when you look at Alawi and you think fight or flight, Alawi defaults to fight. Presses the R key and hopes that the tentacles are enough because of the amount of sustain that you actually get from them.
Yeah.
You might take one with you, but still even just showing his face on the bottom of the map, Sybil immediately walking top means that Swiper has to respect.
Oh, as well as the fact that Fantix was offside as well as Sybil looking for Swiffer, who's trying to predict the flash there as Swiffer gets gold card. It takes a lot of damage here as Sybil does, of course, have the passive. Throws down the heal as the gold card's going to come in one more time, but it's a brilliant use of the shield.
Ooh.
Oh, Fantix wanted that next auto attack, but knew it wasn't a stacked deck. Knew he wasn't going to be able to get the kill.
Yeah, and unfortunately burns the Ignite for that, so Swiffer gets out and actually keeps his summoners. The Chiefs have made a rotation towards this middle lane. Everything evens out, all things considered, but another gank for Zach. And Sybil making waves. Oh, I think that he's about to find himself a swoop.
He's on the Raptor camp at the moment as Sybil does have smite, so he'll be able to lock away this red buff quite effectively. Doesn't want to deal with the Cinderlings.
Cheeky.
Now looking for Swiper as well as Chippies does have Subjugate.
That is an obvious one, though. Without knowing where Spooks is, even looking for this is...
Oh well, Pillar goes down. Swiper's actually looking for it. Massive damage here as Sybil is in trouble. Has the passive, thank goodness. But Fantix will get the Destiny in. Swiper's in trouble, but he's getting a lot of health back from these tentacles. Chippy's in trouble. My God! What is up here? Double kill comes in. He eventually falls, but Spooks looking to answer with a kill onto Fantix. That's what we were talking about before. Alawi says, yeah, please come gank me. I don't care. I'm going to kill you.
Welcome to my domain, says Swiper. That's not an easy thing to execute. And not only that, they miss the execution. Plain and simple. Fantix is overstayed. He's about to blue card or red card. Spooks could, but doesn't.
Lots of minions.
But again, that's just... I feel like they could have killed him if the Zac knockup actually connected. But see, the Trundle Pillar forces him into the fight response. The amount of damage and health regeneration that you find coming from this, as well as Fantix arriving late. I don't know if he was reacting to it, but the communications obviously should be there. One of the better interactions as well is Swiper's Q does full damage to all of the bloblets and instantly kills the Zac. I don't think we'll see Zac picked into Alawi again. That's how this is going to go.
Well, of course, it was the Alawi pick into the Zac, which might have been actually a cue that the Chiefs took in order to know that they can pick that champion once again. Because you mentioned to me the fact that, you know, you play one sort of style when you have the Alawi. It's the when they want to come to you. And if there's ever a champion that wants to come to you, it's Mr. Slingshot Man.
I mean, if there's ever also a team that wants to come at you, it's usually the Direwolves.
Good point.
Delicate. I don't know if they want this again.
Well, nice exhaust comes in as Raze is looking for Swiper. Regret is in trouble. But Raze still looking for it. There's the slow. Raze gets forward. One more auto attack will do it, and he locks down the kill. The tower not going to stay on him as Chippies is in trouble. Flashes out of the way of the last bolt.
Just presses every single button at once.
Yeah.
Chippies does get out. Sybil, on the other hand, may not.
He's got flash.
He does.
Slingshots his way out.
Was expecting the flay from Ejim, but he gets out as soon as he can. Chippies is sitting topside. Sybil was looking to help him, but the Chiefs managed to get themselves no kills, but they will get themselves the turret. The flip side, though, the Direwolves can actually get Alawi.
Sybil once again going to be slingshotting his way across the rift. See, after all of that action towards the bottom side of the map for Fantix, though, he's fallen behind in the farm to the tune of about 20.
I'm not going to lie, any day of the week you'd look at a top laner and say 1v2 against Braum Ezreal, no thank you. Swiper didn't have his ultimate in that last trade.
Yeah.
And it was close to being off cooldown. So I would not even have been shocked if he just walked back down here and said, let's go boys, do it again.
Round 2. Double or nothing.
Which is exactly what that would have been.
Yeah. Has himself a longsword, looks to be building towards a Black Cleaver, as well as possibly a Death Dance. It looks like a lot of AD for this Alawi so far. Deadly Flourish going to fly through as the Chiefs transition their map pressure towards the bottom side.
Yeah, no turret to actually be seen from the Direwolves, so the Chiefs matching them this time around and actually besting them in the macro play, even though it was reactive. This just comes down once again to Swiper on this Alawi. He's an issue.
Oh, yeah. Sybil looking for Radiant. Has to flash this time. Stretch Armstrong will come out as Deadly Flourish locks up Sybil. He may have bitten off too much here as the Let's Bounce comes out. Ejim misses the death sentence as the teleport is cancelled now from Swiffer in the mid lane.
Interesting movements from Sybil. He actually flashes to knock up Ejim and knock him away. And so now they find themselves in an opportunity where the Chiefs looked like they could have pushed something. It was Swiffer's teleport. Swiper definitely just wants the 1v1. Nobody dies though. They were lucky to dodge that death sentence.
Most certainly were. Well, Morellonomicon completed here by Swiffer in response to the Rod of Ages that is done here from Fantix.
These hooks just look so cool.
I know, right?
Albeit a reasonably concealed animation.
Just looks majestic. That's good. You can see Spooks going to glide on past Sybil, who's now backing away. Will complete his Cinderhulk by the looks as he heads back to base. There it is. 42 to 41, so no real difference here as far as jungle farm is concerned.
Yeah, just the Sightstone is the major difference between the two.
Oh, there's the Destiny. Nice play out of Ejim. Has to use the flash for it. As Radia now in trouble towards the bottom side of the map. True Shot Barrage flies through. Radia in trouble. Raze attacks the turret, which is a bad news story. But Raze is able to pick up that kill and get out of turret range.
Actually attacked the turret twice there, Raze. They now have no mana on the Ezreal.
Well, Death Sentence is going to get Ejim in. He just wants to find the flay as Raze. He will fall. Swiffer grabs himself the kill.
And good play from Ejim. They consolidate that kill that was predictably going onto Radair. It was backed up with the flash play to actually kick it off in the first place. Swiper will fight them.
Yeah,
I don't know
he's
about
looking for
this.
it. And they're trying to make sure that he doesn't get multiple people with his leap of faith.
Get him, Swiper.
However, Swiper just says, yeah, come and fight me.
3 of them, maybe.
Yeah, well, Fantix doesn't have Destiny, of course. There's the Subjugate. Swiper throws down the ultimate as Sybil, I believe, doesn't have his passive yet. Fantix picks it up with a wild card, thank goodness. Because I would have thought that Swiper could have almost got back with 3 tentacles doing that amount of damage.
But actually, surprisingly good in the way that Fantix played that one out. Zoned away the Rek'Sai, didn't let him get in and knock anybody up to give more time to Swiper. Any further sustain. The Trundle matchup is still okay into Alawi.
You do use your passive to get health back from the tentacles, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's more so that you can just pop your ultimate, and on a champion that doesn't even have resistances, like, make him useless, mostly in a ganking scenario. In team fights, of course, it doesn't work like that. But you've got a Rek'Sai for that past that point.
That's a good point. Swiper now does have his Black Cleaver done, though. So he's looking very strong here on the map, and we'll see whether he does go to Death Stance with the pickaxe, whether he's going to start building some sort of defensive item. Maybe some form of armor might be worthwhile just for weathering this lane, but at the moment, 124 to 108. He's farming out very nicely, 2, 3, and 0. Very happy is the Alawi.
Chiefs still looking to make some more proactive movements around the map this time. Direwolves are looking to answer.
They certainly are, as Regret throws down the wall. Ejim, relatively low here on this Thresh. Spooks, however, he's not. He's looking very comfortable. Cloud Drake. Drake number 1. No one really looking at that one just yet. Fantix looking to clear out this minion wave. Will do so relatively easily. Already has 10%
Sybil?
CDR as Sybil, yeah, looking for Ejim. He's going to dodge out of the way, but there's the box. Ultimate comes down. My God, Let's Bounce is going to lock up the kill on the support. Teleport's coming in. Swiffer is already down towards the bottom side. Swiper doesn't have his, cannot answer, but is moving from the top side of your screen. Direwolves have got that one pick. See whether they can get any more.
They do force the disengage. Swiper, of course, is present, and Jin surprised that he didn't ult there, even just to put down damage. The end result of this is another nice pick for Direwolves. Onto Ejim, who unfortunately actually flayed Sybil into a position where the Let's Bounce knocked him towards the team. The Direwolves anyway. There's still honestly a position of power for Direwolves if they want to start utilizing the map movements that they're capable of doing. Sybil's bridged himself to that level 9 point. Fantix has got his big item, now working on the second. But the Chiefs have answered in a very resoundingly similar way. They've got wave clear in that middle lane. They want to have kill threat as a top lane. But this time it's slightly more effective in both departments.
It looks like Swiffer as well going towards Rabbidan's Death Cap for item number 2. Could potentially be the Luden's Echo. But I would like Rabbidan's just because he is that utility style champion there in the mid lane. Extra AP means a whole lot more when you're not necessarily purely doing damage.
Depends if you want damage over time or the initial burst of the Ludens.
Yeah.
The extra wave clear as well, you can single queue the backline. Victor doesn't need that, of course. It's also easy to Rylai's. I wouldn't expect that, but just
Hey,
saying.
that could be cool, yeah. Slow on the queue may not necessarily feel like enough.
Now, they shouldn't look towards Swiper's lane any further. He does have a Black Cleaver, so if they use the Twisted Fate, he's killable. In terms of health bar, he's not that durable unless he has his ultimate. So the Twisted Fate will lock down, stun the follow-up, and the rest of the team could be there. But this is where the Direwolves can't execute on this strategy because they're keeping Fantix super busy.
They certainly are. As Raze is looking to protect his jungle. Got some vision around here as well as Spooks bullied out of the jungle. Nice Winter's Bite lands through the tunnel.
And still set up really well to succeed. Look at where the kills are distributed to the Direwolves roster. The major conflicting difference is that the Bushman doesn't actually have himself any kills.
Well, at the moment he is in the bush. As now Swiper does have the flash available, throws down the ult, but my God, Chippy's with his Ravenous Hydra. So much damage, and Dials clean up the Alawi.
Yeah, the best thing about versing the Alawi is crowd controls the direct counter, and what does Zach have in abundance?
Crowd control.
Yeah, he absolutely has crowd control that you can't even cleanse because they knock up. Spook's now very deep.
Takes a Dark Lantern to safety.
But this is the exact thing that is working for the Dials that they're going to continue to do. Spook's response is to look at the other side of the map and get global gold for the team.
Been destroyed.
It's not working out because Dial's getting these kills on a Swiper, can match trades, Now Chippies is getting kills. Sybil has established a lot of this now lane presence. But Chippies, and they're always going to have a relevant Twisted Fate in this middle lane. He's just wave clearing to his heart's content. It's 2-0 anyway.
Yeah, precisely. And Fantix wasn't nearly this far, I guess, I'm not going to say ahead because he's still down by about 20 CS, but he was having a worse time last game on the TF, and we know that he was still able to be very, very important come the later stages. Once again, Rift Herald is going to now go over to the Direwolves, as I believe it wasn't taken at all in the last game, always countered by the Chiefs. Direwolves now have themselves about a 300 gold lead, but it is nothing. Once again, this game is so close from both of these teams.
Yeah. But as the dust settles, of course, of the recent trade that we just saw, the Chiefs, they've pushed bottom side. They don't look towards the Drake as it's a cloud. The Direwolves, they push top side. They don't look towards Drake. They actually look towards Rift Herald, so they get a slight advantage in that respect. But the biggest change is that they get a mid lane Herald with this. They're now starting to up that tempo. Got some item spikes. Feeling good for a 5v5 because Swiper doesn't want to be split any further.
Well, there's the hook actually onto Sybil as well as there's Swiper. Does land the E, but Sybil is going to make it to safety very easily. Just cruising on out of there.
Yeah, he's going to have a Spirit Visage as that champion anyway. Fantix not having the best time in 1v1, but that's to be expected against Akama.
Yeah.
He's pretty good in that department. And again, this is the conflicting strategies of these teams now starting to hit that mid-game point where it's super important.
Whoa, Fantix. Curtain Call comes in, flashes out of the way of one of them and dodges the fourth. Wow, that's a free summoner spell there for the ultimate out of Radio. Definitely worthwhile.
Yeah, and the best part is the first hits. And if the first one hits on Jhin, you can hit all of them. And just like that, Summoner from a Twisted Fate could ultimately hurt him. Does still get his big item spike. And again, those big conflicting differences between these teams. The Chiefs now look towards the 5v5s, utilize Alawi in these team fights. They want to have Swiper there. They only have double teleport simply to damage control what the Direwolves could implement if they get any further into the lead. Because as it stands, a 2-0 Twisted Fate, pretty good in a side lane.
Damn right. And Swiffer actually has gone for the Luden, so you're exactly right. Just wants to be able to clear out these waves a little bit more effectively. That's what he wanted to do against Fantix there as Radio dances some grenades across the top side.
It means you don't have to Mantra Q the wave to instantly clear the backline, which is nice because the Mantra Q, like in terms of augmentation of damage, is unheard of.
Radio just glowing a little bit now. He's going to reload, grab himself all of his bullets. You can see that is going to be a Trinity Force raise actually. So the Ezreal will be picking that one up. Seen it a little bit in solo queue. Haven't actually had the pleasure of casting one just yet.
Yeah. Isn't prioritizing the armor. Doesn't think that he needs to slow down the enemy, more so to speed himself up as Regret's taking a bullet.
Yeah, takes a bullet for Raze. Stands behind him there as well as the ultimate flies through just for disengage now as Swiffer has caught Regret out, but might actually fall down himself. True Shot Barrage flies through. Massive knock up there from Sybil. As now Chip is right in the backline. Ejim's going to fall as well as Raze getting right in amongst it. Radier falls down, but in goes Swiper. Can he get the work done? He gets stunned up.
No.
Fantix in potential trouble. That is massive damage out of this Alawi as Fantix is eventually able to get that work done. It's 4 dead on the side of the Chiefs as there's the Destiny. Sybil's now looking for Spooks as he now has a gold card lined up. Doesn't have Flash, of course. And Spooks is going to get out to the other side of the map, which gives Direwolves room to get to work on this outer turret.
And they win themselves the team fight in a situation where they should not be winning that team fight because the Lantern that is given to Swiffer puts them on top of Sybil. The engage from this Zac was just unreal. Direwolves, they play from strength to strength. They're now dead though.
Yeah, the teleport comes in. Fantix avoids the Mantra Q. It's not going to be quite enough, and that is actually passive down as well here for Sybil before he falls. They can decide to give it to whoever they want as Radier is going to be the benefactor of that, and the outer turret stands, so nice teleport play there out of Swiffer.
So they should actually go straight to Baron here, potentially the Chiefs. Ejim mechanically does well. Swiffer's teleport was fantastic. They've now got themselves a 3v5 where there's no mid lane and no jungle for the Direwolves. As far as power plays are concerned, this is going to come down to a steal potentially from the Direwolves. 3v5, so risky.
Yeah, Ray's looking for it right now. True Shot Barrage flies through. Remember, ultimate's still available there from Swiper as Chippies is going to fall potentially, but doesn't as he flashes himself out. Lower health bars here on the Chiefs. as that's a huge shield out of Swiffer. This Baron is going to fall eventually as Ejim possibly in trouble as Raze going 1 versus 4. A few of the buttons are going to miss there as Chippy slowed down. And now Raze still going forward. Ingo's regret. They want more out of this as Tentacles are starting to do some work on the back end. Chippy's still slowed and the Chiefs will take 5 members with a Baron.
Yeah, and only barely they actually get out alive. Now the Direwolves against a Baron buffed 5-man roster of the Chiefs suddenly on the back foot because they overstayed to try and get the turret that Fantix just took down. Big risk. The reward was not there, but the Chiefs, they play that same game and they come out ahead.
Yeah, that's a Duskblade now completed here from Radier as well. You can see Swiffer building towards what could be the Void Star.
To be fair, that Duskblade is actually really greedy from Radier.
Okay.
More of Malmortius, or at least the Hextron, I'd say would have been nice from him.
Against
A Zac Twisted Fate.
and Ezreal.
Yeah,
True
but
Shot Barrage does a lot of damage.
nonetheless, he has his Duskblade. Good snowball item.
Raze as well now has Trinity Force as well as that Vampiric Scepter, so there's a lot of power that he's just managed to pick up.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. The damage that he's putting out will be quite large, but as for when he's going to be doing it, I'd say not just yet.
Well, you can see this inner turret does not last long in the hands of the Chiefs, as now they're moving over towards the middle of the map. You can see Fantix heading towards the top side, wants to be able to push this one out as the Chiefs ping it. They know where they want to start getting some control.
And Raze has been stepping up more and more lately, so for the 5-1 member of the team, the
Yeah.
3-1 Twisted Fate to back him. The Direwolves by no means are out of this one yet. However, the Chiefs on the flip side, they do get themselves a quick and easy bottom turret. Now Raze is actually
In trouble, does use his E in order to shift his way out as the ultimate comes through. Raze in trouble. Oh my goodness, that's the snipe out of Radier. Big deal as they get rid of that Ezreal, and now Fantix going to have to move back towards the mid lane, but this Baron buff is going to help them take down this inner turret very easily. The pings are now on the Twisted Fate, who does need to be careful where he walks.
Yeah. Now 5-2 as well as this Ezreal actually chooses not to stand behind his Braum. Sybil now caught.
Another possible pickup here as that Duskblade is going to go off. The pop is going to pick up the kill. This Radier is huge right now. Trundle once again going to have his soul just obliterated by this Chiefs roster, and now they're looking for this inhibitor in the mid lane.
Yeah.
Very different Chiefs in game number 2.
And this exact outcome of this inhibitor going down is why Jhin was banned.
Yeah.
As the W lockdown followed by the ultimate gets them raised, the second aspect of that gets them Sybil. Jhin, such a good AD carry right now, and they've let the Chiefs pick that one up. And look at what it's gotten them.
Now the Chiefs know exactly what the priority is as well, as they managed to nab that one as their first pick. Ocean Drake going to fall down. Second Drake of the game here going over to the Chiefs. And they'll Empowered recall back home and pick up a plethora of items. That is Mortal Reminder almost completed here from Radier at the same time as Spooks. We're just going to watch him take a bit of a farm journey towards the Raptor Pit.
Yeah, locking that Raptor Pit down now. Direwolves actually on the back foot. Decent gold lead for the Chiefs. It's not too large.
Only about 4,000 here.
And the Baron is just about to run out. So in terms of power plays, that's still successful from the Chiefs, but only to a certain extent.
Chippy's against the flow. He's going to be able to take down this outer turret. Remember, still has that Rift Herald buff. Still for another about 10 minutes or so. Just over. Picked it up at about 19, I believe.
Now still farming well across the board for both of these teams.
Mantra Q's starting to do some real work as Spooks is basically untouchable on this Rek'Sai.
It's interesting that the Chiefs have adapted through a Karma in the middle lane also. It's a good choice, because it's more of a bully control mid, but it's absolutely decimating
Yeah.
this poke.
Doing a lot of work as Sybil is actually looking for Ejim and Spooks right now. Concussive
Got
blows is going to
Chippy.
land. Yeah, really nice hook onto Chippy. 2 flashes, but can't get out of the way of the Deadly Flourish. In goes Fantix.
Whoa.
He's trying to get some work done off the backside as Ray's getting all the auto attacks he wants off onto this Chiefs
Got
roster.
Sybil again.
Yeah, once again caught out of position. Does have the less bounce. Will knock the Chiefs around, but look at this AoE. That is gigantic. No one's going to fall just yet.
Oh
as of
my
course the
God,
passive is
Ejim.
in. How did he land that hook? There's nothing Raze can do can get him out of there. And there's the curtain call. Radius still wants more, but actually he's going to cancel that towards the end. Now Chiefs looking for this inhibitor turret towards the top side. 27 minutes in. Chiefs looking to knock down the front door of the Direwolves.
Jim just stamps the foot down. It says it's time to win this game.
Yep.
And actually just hooks everybody repeatedly until there's someone dies. The Chiefs, I don't think they can actually finish with Fantix still here for wave clear. Chippies as well has teleport if they choose to get an incredibly large flank off. Doesn't feel like that's how they're going to play this one out because the Chiefs still in total control.
There's the Destiny.
It was a recall check. If someone was recalling by themselves, they would have died. Chiefs still a 5-man unit. Even going to hold hands with the base.
Not going to leave anything up to chance here. Swiffer locks down the Rift Scuttler, does so quite easily as Raze almost has his Blade of the Ruined King, but he's well and truly falling behind Radier, building up to his 4th item in the form of some sort of Zeal purchase.
Costly items, to be fair.
Yeah.
From Raze in comparison.
That's a good point.
And I think as far as gold is concerned, the AD carry of Direwolves is one of the stronger members. Looking past that point, we're still really yet to see much from Fantix in this game. Even though the score says he's 3-1, it hasn't been fully reflected. Does have a big item spike now, though.
Yeah, it does have that Rabadon's Death Cap. Will help him clear out minion waves very effectively, which he'll need to do.
Chippies is dead.
Oh, dear. Throw a Pink Ward in there. And there it is. Locks down the snare. There's the hook. The chain CC comes in. It's all too easy as Chippies falls to the hands of the Chiefs. 20 seconds to go on that Baron buff. Teleport is there, but Chippies will need 20 seconds of time bought for him, and I believe the Chiefs will be able to take down this Baron within that.
Yeah, there is 2 inhibitors dead, and Direwolves, even if they look to stop it, could run themselves into a position they don't want to be. Because if they die, they actually just lose the game. Chippy's not going to be available to control the minions, and that was very deep from Chippy's positioning. The Chiefs, they've kicked it off.
Yeah, so Swiper already setting up a bunch of tentacles in this pit as well, so my goodness, every time he presses that W, whole bunch of the health bar, that Baron buff falls, and the Chiefs are now just patrolling around the outside. They've got so much vision, it will easily be able to take down the Purple Worm. Swiper sort of feels a little bit like he's killing his own brethren, or his own little pets. They are going to be able to lock that one in there, so Inhibitor's about to come back up in the mid lane, but it's a 6,000 gold lead, and the Chiefs are going to play this one suffocation mode as per usual.
Did you just call a worm a tentacle?
Kind
I would
of.
be so offended if I was a tentacle.
What do you mean? I feel like a worm would be a little bit more of a actual creature than a tentacle. I thought a tentacle was more of a limb.
You still compared them. I'm just like,
They look relatively
they're
similar.
actually eating them.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
Well,
Well, yeah, in goes Sybil.
Swiffer.
Swiffer is going to get knocked up. There's the ultimate from Regret, but may have gone in the wrong direction there as wildcards are flying through from Fantix. Swiper, huge
Swiper.
in the middle of this fight, but Fantix is able to lock him down. Flashes back into his team here as Sybil looking for some knock-up. Swiffer still alive with a huge shield as Radier now going to find his way into the fight. They've got the one pick-off. If Direwolves can survive, they may actually be able to find something here. Destiny's going to come in. Sybil for the re-engage, but they don't get the knock-up onto Swiffer. And Fantix now caught out. It is going to be, oh my god, Radier in trouble. Deadly Flourish locks down Fantix. His last move actually locks down the kill on the mid laner of the Direwolves. Yeah, Chippy's still trying to get in here. Raze over the top as well. A lot of damage. Death Sentence is going to go wide. As now concussive blows stacking onto Swiffer. The auto attacks coming down from Raze. The shields are everywhere though as Spooks over the side. Raze here as well. He's going to survive by getting over the wall.
might be dead.
Swiffer, how are you still alive?
He has so many shields. The Direwolves, they look for a fight. Regret needs to be careful here.
Raze Seeker probably won't be able to do it. As Raze gets over to the side. That was so close, but Direwolves do
Swiper's
fall
teleporting
behind.
for a flank to end the game potentially.
What? He was under the Nexus turrets. Okay.
Jeez. They're so close. Now the Chiefs need to actually look to maybe cement this, get themselves the 3rd inhibitor. Maybe push mid again and try and actually re-get the 3rd inhibitor, but that's 4 strong.
Oh, fantastic play there
Oh
under
my
Sybil
God,
as well.
Jim.
True Shot Barrage over a few members here as Fantix looking to lock down the members of the Chiefs. We still have Leap of Faith available here from Swiper. He doesn't have
done it
Flash.
again.
Another flay onto Sybil, who's Let's bouncing around but can't quite get the CC. Swiffer still in here. He's got so much mana. He looks so comfortable. As there's the knock-up, another play comes in from Egypt. What is this guy on the Thresh? As there's the leap of faith. Swiper going to town on the Direwolves. That's the last kill there for Radier as Fantix is fighting Spooks, but that's not what he wants. Deadly Flourish is not going to find it, but Spooks locks down the kill. The Chiefs are back and will take game number 2 after getting rid of every structure that the Direwolves held dear.
It feels weird to say, but give the Chiefs allowing, they look like an entirely different team. But most importantly to me, Egypt just went insane.
That last team fight was a Thresh highlight reel.
Something that Egypt has done time and again, actually. It feels like the Egypt Ali God, once he went to his first international, became Egypt does not miss a Thresh hook ever. But it was the Flays that was actually stopping the Zax engage. Really impressive.
Yeah, it was a wonderful, wonderful game from the Chiefs, and that's going to tie up the series. So let's throw it back to the analyst desk to break down the Chiefs win.
And a night and day performance from the Chiefs means that we are going to head to game number 6 of the night, game number 3 of this series. And you know, Frosk, this is why I love being the host so much, because, you know, throwing Jish under the bus like that, he picks out that comp, that's face red.
That was so much better. So yeah, still, I stand very firm on the first comp. This composition, though, this was a super cool composition. And so we're just going to break this down really quickly. Like, first and foremost, fighting this comp in a jungle is almost impossible. Everyone saw that Alawi's tentacles are coming out everywhere. Radier played so much better on Jhin than we've seen him previously in this performance, but it's kind of like this anti-dive composition. Like, you can't get back there, and what it lacks in hard engage potential, because your only hard engage is going to be your death sentence and your unburrow effectively, as well as like a karma speed up, is that it's so good at sieging. So it's kind of like an anti-engage siege composition, which empowers the Chiefs beautifully, because anytime the Direwolves would want to fight them, pretty much negated it. They couldn't do it at all. And then anytime the Chiefs wanted to walk up to a tower, not only do you get to throw down the Jhin ultimate, but what we didn't really get to see is Alawi's actually fairly decent at sieging well, especially if she gets that vessel, just pulls you under, starts laying down the tentacles under the tower, and you quickly have to abandon that.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Let's get Raz in here. Yep, nice 3-minute speech. I like it.
Wait, no, good job.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk about the early game later on, but like, what can you do against Alawi, right? They had to allocate 3 people to try and deal with the split. Like, they couldn't split against Alawi. You can't team fight against Alawi. At that point, it was just like, and of course, you're right about the sieging point. Like, it had a lot of raw power, and you can see with like, maybe you'll see it in the highlight videos, right? With how like big Swifts was coming through. And so that was really solid in that front. It's amazing. So I guess we can talk about the early game a little bit. So yeah, it was pretty interesting. I could feel the tilt coming out of Swiper, because he was getting. The Chiefs didn't know how to handle it very well. So pretty much he was getting like 2v1, 3v1, and there was no answer coming from the opposite side of the map.
Especially because, you know, first time around, you know, they dive him 3v1. He picks up a double kill, you know, does fall down, comes back to lane. All of a sudden, you know, he goes top lane. He gets like collapsed on one more time. No one's taking turrets and things like that because they're trying to freeze, be very, very selfish with their farm. And this is something that you're saying, you know, you have to be able to cross map. If your top lane is doing that much work for your team, you have to have his back. But, you know, one thing I do want to talk about is the fact that they pulled it back together. About 20 minutes into this game, looked like the Chiefs hit the flex, switch, realized that there are objectives to take on the map, and, you know, they systematically just pulled the Wolves apart.
And I think it was also very clever about where they were pulling them apart. They were setting up team fights beautifully. Again, we never really got to see the power of Alawi underneath a siege, because it was all of these team fights. And they saw that the Direwolves were more than happy to come and fight them to try to make these flanking plays in the jungle, and they just set up beautifully for it. So normally where we compliment the Chiefs is when they outsmart their opponents by maneuvering around on the map and playing macro. Direwolves still played a very beautiful macro game, especially early, but the Chiefs completely outmaneuvered them in these team fights.
Yeah, they certainly did, and we are going to go to game number 3. We could talk about it for days, but unfortunately, guys, we have to go to a 3.5-minute break. But don't worry, when we return, we'll get the final game of the night between the Chiefs Esports Club and the Direwolves.